Brendan and Nathan. This is Maude Flanders. I just want you to know that I am so thrilled that you have this great Modcast. I mean, I'm not, even when you started on one, I would have said okay, because I'm Maude and I like it. And Todd and Rod would like it too. I adore you. You're so fantastic.
So tell us a little bit about what happened here, Lord Zaz.
This is what I decided to make following the episode that aired recently, and it had some nice little Ned bits about Maude, so I thought it would fit nicely into the original episode, and then I found quite a lot more stuff that would also fit nicely.
So from your words, originally you watched the episode at Christmas last year and you thought, I know, for no good reason at all, I'll edit this into the original episode. So Maude died, spoiler, but the 20-odd minute episode, 22-minute episode, it's about 7 minutes of the Simpsons picnic. It's about 5 minutes of banter at the stadium. Then she dies, and then there's a little bit of fluff at the wake, and then there's 15 minutes of Ned going on dates.
Yeah, it immediately cuts to like almost exactly what they said they didn't really want to do, which was the same thing per Ned off, and then they just backed themselves immediately into a corner of like 4 dates. This is how it should have looked in my head. I may still be wrong, and it's still a bit clunky, and obviously there would be more segues between the scenes, etc. And the scenes would probably end like a proper scene does, as opposed to just being cut off halfway through like most of these. However, I think it's great.
I think it's great too. We watched it the other week, and we're going to watch it together and talk through. And I'm going to ask you the same questions over and over again that I asked last time. And beginning with,
and then there was some sort of thing with Maggie not getting paid or whatever.
So the Flanders is now owned by Disney. That's not you, right? That's them.
That is all of it, other than a couple of AI text-to-speak lines, is taken directly from the show, or deleted scenes, or couch gags.
Come meet Ned Flanders and his 2 boys riding hard. He's friends with God and has a rich bar.
They're singing the not this all looks, is it intentionally, do you think, like crappy? The white bread for the soul and that kind of stuff. It looks like you've like put that on afterwards. Is it intentional, like crappy? If it looks like you've put that on afterwards. Crappy. If it looks like you've put that on. Crappy.
No, it's all intentional, and I think it's just supposed to be
crappy,
as bland seeming as possible.
What's that?
I added a chorus singing "Oh, and a lovely wife, Maude."
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So you added that bit, right?
Yeah, because obviously this is long post Maude's death, but within the context of this episode, it is pre Maude's death, so she's still part of the family.
Sure, it's not. So we get a little cameo of Homer, and Ned crosses himself when he goes in, and he's got a beautiful picture in art. And then we cut to the couch gag where all Maude and co are there. Created by God.
Yes, that one was a particular highlight for me, as I found that super late. I found that I think watching DVD bonus features just in case I missed anything, and that popped up that I'd literally never seen before in my life, even though I own this DVD.
What, the created by God thing?
No, the couch gag, the Flanders couch gag.
Have we not talked about that?
Yes, these aren't new clips for you. This is all of these things we have looked at before.
Really? So we've looked at essentially every clip in this show before?
Yeah, I think bar maybe a couple. Most of it is just, all the stuff post-death that it's sort of a culmination of the Maudecast, really, what I have learned. So I wouldn't have had the requisite... I would have been able to do some of this pre-Maudecast, but there was a lot of it that I would have missed out on.
Would you say you've now got Maude's entire... everything about Maude up there in your brain?
Yes, everything that we currently know. I imagine there's not a lot. There's definitely not anything. There's no spoken dialogue that we've missed. I can say that for certain.
No, and no substantive appearances. Like if there's anything we've missed, it's simply a photograph in the background.
Yes, there is. We've got the one coming up, like the last things that we missed.
Oh yeah.
And she's basically just in the scenes.
When's the new
That is
season
it.
start?
September.
Where are we at now? June, July.
July.
I reckon we're going to put out our last episode the day before they do the like season whatever 36.
Look who's back.
Look who's back in the brother loving house.
That would
with
be a lot of
cookie
fun.
for your brother loving mouth.
Exactly.
So we open with a shot of the Flanders' house. It's the night, and Neddy wakes up. I imagine this is to set the scene that he's a bit cranky in the morning, right? This to give justification to why he's not as nice as Neddy usually, woken by the fireworks.
I like that take. My actual reason for inclusion was because I wanted to start the episode at the Flanders house in like it's supposed to be the morning.
To set the scene that he's a little cranky, he's a little off, and he regrets some of the things he does that day.
I didn't want it to start with the Simpson family if it was a Flanders episode, basically, and I couldn't really find them waking up. But it does set up that they're both a little bit cranky in the morning. Every time I established it was a new day or Ned was getting up, I wanted to add this post-it bit to just really sell it later on.
It's a nice thing. What you're doing is you're adding a little bit, a little bit of context to it, a little bit more depth to the fluffy story. Where we find out later that every morning he had been putting a post-it on the mirror for Maude, right? And it's very nice for us to see that, even though he's not slept too well. In the real. I would have liked that firework thing to be just a little bit longer, where he's like tossing and turning, and Maude's a little bit off as well. And it's like, because the Simpsons, like we said a few times, that they're not subtle, right? They do kind of hammer it home most times.
Indeed. And yeah, these two sort of morning clips do establish that, like, Maude's looked at this post-it note and still gone and kicked off about the towels. So they're both in this sort of place of nothing's going to change, so we can wake up and argue with each other, and we're both going to get in this bed tonight.
Exactly. Never a crossword. It's kind of, we learn a lot about that acceptance. Somebody once said that the rule of a good marriage is knowing those 5 things in the day that you shouldn't say.
Exactly. 5 fruits and veg every day.
So yeah, we see Neddy put his post-it note, and then
when you're drying your hands with our monogram towels, can you use the NF towel, not the MF?
So yeah, Maude, a little bit cranky, comes in and says, when you're drying your hands, use the NF and not the MF. I thought there was room for an MF joke in there.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna use that MF in towel. But
that would have been good.
But for us, we would have seen the joke, right? But Ned would have been making it unintentionally, of course.
Indeed. But
maybe he would have looked to the camera for 20 seconds.
Both of them.
Gone like this.
And then the t-shirt hits her.
Yeah.
He just looks and says, she's going to die today. Everybody strap in.
Good
but
Lord.
Yeah, this specifically this is from an episode that I later found out was season 21, episode 14. So exactly 10 seasons afterwards.
Oh.
So I think that's why they did it. But this is the only thing that is specifically said happened on the day of the race track thing outside of that episode.
Oh, so does he specifically in the episode say that this happened on that day?
Yes, Neddy says we had a fight on the day that she died.
Oh yeah, we see it later with like Old Man Ned, right?
Yeah, kind of. And then it cuts to this, and this is the argument they had. We don't ever see the resolution and whether he apologises or anything, which would add even more layers to grief. But I can't animate tension onto their faces, so we just have to go with the fact that he got over it very quickly.
The stink lines around there and everything. For me, it's a little bit of a kind of, it's obviously not a serious argument, but it's a little bit of a stronger argument than you'd imagine the two of them ever really having. You imagine that it would have been like, the joke might have been that kind of he kind of moved her unflavored ice milk like onto the next shelf down, and I don't like it though, Neddy, it's too close to the eggs, or something like that.
That is true. I would say this fits in. Using a towel that has the word N instead of M is also probably, in the grand scheme of things, not that not that solid. She should have come in and said Vegas wife. That would have been great, and that was all you saw.
That would have been good. That's a little bit more like a higher stakes thing, the kind of thing that like a Molman-esque thing, or even if not quite Family Guy, but you know what I mean.
I do.
Maybe I should use a towel marked BDD, big diddly deal.
BDD? We all know what he means there, don't we?
Big diddly deal.
Big diddly deal. Yeah, exactly. We've all seen it. Maude is taken aback by this.
If this was to be a real episode, I would have included a small bit here about Ron Todd would have woke up and intruded the argument, and that would have resolved things. And then it would have got to them doing kitchen things like they are now. Yeah,
so you could have seen the like, yay, Rod and Todd running downstairs and shouting, racetrack, which again, you know, if you look at any kind of depth, there's no way they're taking Rod and Todd to that racetrack.
No, I'm sitting on the back row.
No.
Which is why I had to include a line that you're about to hear that sets up why they were going.
Okay, let's have a listen.
About Maude, we have to get ready to go to the Fasco racing event that your cousin Morgan Huntington sent us tickets for, Doodly.
Oh, yes, you are.
So this is you've entered that line in that they have to go because her cousin gave her free tickets, and obviously, as we know, Morgana was the one shooting the t-shirt cannon and also making the t-shirt cannon that made those fateful blows. Did we ever work out why Morgana was killed, Maude?
No, I imagine for money or some kind of argument, but I don't think we know the full story about that yet. Wink, wink. I wanted it to be a Simpsons episode that you could watch having not watched the Maudecast, and then that just changed very quickly, I decided, and this is a better testament to the Maudecast. There's no point doing it if we're not going to include our own lore about Maude, if you will, Laurie.
Oh yeah, it is the lore. So, L-O-R-E, it's canon now. T-shirt.
None of these things would have, I don't know how I would have got around certain things. I think it just would have been a bit clunkier if I hadn't have found that text-to-speech.
It's perfect.
Simpsons thing.
Absolutely seamless.
Oh, yes, you are right, Nettie. I hope that bitch Helen isn't there.
Yeah, setting up that she just has to get that in, really, doesn't she? But she's not that bothered. She quite likes Helen, really.
Yeah, I think that was more of a Maudecast thing. I don't. It's a bit too broad for her to actually say out loud, and not in a diary.
Or in church.
There's a couple of broad Maudecast things in here that I couldn't resist. that will come up that are simply unacceptable for a Simpsons episode.
You get your one swear a season, don't you?
Exactly.
All right, so now we cut to is this how the actual episode opens?
Yes.
With the Simpsons having a picnic. Which again is quite an interesting juxtaposition, that it's the Flanders that are getting ready to go to the racetrack while the Simpsons are off in nature having a picnic.
It is strange, yeah. The Simpsons here, it is working as a nice parallel. They're also all kind of happy and in unison, whereas we've seen Nettie and Maude. If this was a regular episode and you were watching it in real time and not knowing that's where it was going, I think you would already pick up on the fact that if something feels a bit weird with the Flanders, like something's off today.
Something's slightly off with the Flanders, aside from the introduction of this cousin that's never been mentioned before. But, you know, they do that kind of thing, right? They just add a thing. Hopefully there's some interaction between the two later. Otherwise, it would make no sense whatsoever.
Exactly, Lord Thistlewick, Flanders.
We're lucky to have this untouched piece of paradise so close to Springfield.
Bees!
Blah, blah, blah. So, homie, here's some bees.
They sound angry.
Is it really cut like that quick? Like within 10 seconds of the start to the racetrack thing?
No, I've cut a lot of Simpsons stuff out because this is a Flanders episode. I just needed to get them to that racetrack as quickly as possible.
Oh yeah, much better. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for them to be picnicking. It's like this is the quick lickety split kind of thing. You know, we're a minute in.
Yeah, and, I think she is spoiled. Well, spoilers. I think in this 40-minute episode, she is dead by like minute 4.
In yours?
Yes.
What about in theirs?
In theirs, it's at the act break, so I think it's about 7 or 8 minutes in out of 20.
Okay, send us all to Maude.
And Africanized. That doesn't sound like bees. Oh my god!
Oh my god, he says, is apparently you can just stroll onto the racetrack through some bushes. I mean, the fact that the t-shirt kind of knocked her off seems to be the least dangerous thing out there.
Yeah, I've never really picked up on this in the probably 350 times I've watched this episode, but it is funny that everything that basically happens leading up to Maude dying is extremely dangerous and life-ending. The whole thing. Like, they cross this now.
Yeah.
Racetrack! The bird sanctuary! They ruined it!
No, they didn't. They just surrounded it with something wonderful.
This is a tiny little wall. Again, ironic there that it's a big wall that we approach later. And the bird sanctuary's been destroyed, but it's been made much
Like a
better.
raisin covered in chocolate, or a monkey in a cowboy suit.
Yeah. Whatever. So the Simpsons, including the baby, run across this racetrack. And they're early. I guess they're really early.
They haven't arrived. They're in the mid. Again, I've cut a lot of Simpsons stuff out.
If it was a Flanders TV show, we would have cut the entire thing out and just had them here. But I think it does add a little bit of niceness to it to be like, introduces the racetrack in an interesting way, right?
In the way that they are now explaining why the Flanders family are here, which we have already done, I needed to explain why the Simpsons family were there.
Yeah, which I think you did. And I don't think it was necessary, but I think it was a delightful little setup. And, it only took 30 seconds or so.
Exactly. Oh, none of this is necessary.
Flanders, since when do you like anything cool?
Well, I don't care for the speed, but I can't get enough of that safety gear. Helmets, roll bars, caution flags.
I like the fresh air and looking at the poor people in the infield.
Very judgmental, that, isn't it?
It is. It
Fresh
also
air.
doesn't sound like Maud Flanders to me.
No, is it?
It is MMG.
It's MMG. It's not. It's a generic woman's accent. What the hell is that accent? It's like you'd never even listened to. I'm Are you a woman? Can you speak? Okay, say these lines.
She sounds like that's Diane that he went on a date with.
And she already knew as well. MMG knew when she was recording this that she had like her lines as MF were in single digits. What I like here is what you've done.
Gentlemen.
You cut to those to some hoochie honky tonkers from like Cletus and all those guys, right? And then it just that little which is nice. It doesn't make sense.
No, that was already in there.
What?
I cut that down. That was that's Maud says about looking at the poor people in the infield, and it cuts to hillbillies.
Are you joking? That's in there? What does that mean? In the infield, like in the middle of the field? Like
I think so. Yeah, like that, I think that is possibly a racing. Like I don't know how this shit works, but basically, where the family were having the picnic, where the Simpsons had the picnic, is now where all the hillbillies are. The only thing I did to that was cut out the line where Cletus says something like where they're all kissing and getting smoochy, and Cletus says not in front of my parents, and Brandine says there's my parents too.
Good lord.
Start your engine!
Daddy, can we move closer?
Absolutely, Hot Roddy. We're up here out of range of the crashes and the driver's cussing.
There you go. So it's right out here, out of the range of the cussing and the crashes. And of course, we get Lisa Simpson swearing.
Yeah, that was just another irresistible moment.
And the driver's cussing.
Move your damn butt. Fuck off, Bart!
Good lord.
Start this!
And we see that cut scene where Homer's waving his arse, which gives us a...
Homer!
What? I'm mooning the officials!
Yeah, but Maud's getting the flip side.
So this does, definitely give even more ammunition, as I think we said when this popped up the first time, more reasons as to why Maude is getting the heck out of there.
Yeah, and again, I found this super late. I found this
tea time,
like 5 months ago, maybe, and I'd never seen it before. Yeah, it adds more fuel to the fire, and it sort of reframes it to be about Neddy and Maude. As like Homer is the wacky side character in this scene as opposed to the wacky main character.
Eyes have been soiled.
Hey, that's racing.
You added that?
I added My Eyes Have Been Soiled from a different episode, which is why it is Roswell. It just felt Maude needed more lines before she went. She only speaks like 3 times in the actual episode, and then she's gone.
Yeah, it's pretty disrespectful, to be honest, the whole thing, but I think you're giving Maude a little bit more of a time in the sun.
I believe that behind is the infield.
All right. So do a car flipping.
Come on, somebody crash!
All right, it's aching for some crashes.
Patience, son. Watch car never crashes.
A beautiful shot there. I think we talked about it at the time of Homer's face entirely covering Maude's. There you go. It's beautiful. It's a very, very Praiselandish.
Oh, I missed one! And now, here's something for the guys! Finally! Let's hear it for Pandemonium!
Pandemonium, as we see, one of them is Morgana Huntington, Maude's cousin, her cousin. Which one is it?
I think the front one that is speaking that kind of sounds... I don't know, actually. I think she's
The one at the bottom?
Exactly. We've probably established it like 4 or 5 times. She's the one right behind the one speaking.
Do you think
I should have added a line here where Ned says, "Oh, look, that's your cousin."
Oh, look, there's your cousin. Yeah, should have. Maybe she could have shouted up and waved and she had said, Maude, and then like we would have seen her click on her laser sight.
Yes. Tap was acquired.
Tap was supplied. And yeah, do you think it's the reference, the fact that they're all wearing the kind of red outfit, the red busty outfit like Maude did on that fateful day?
Could well be. That's a nice take on that. I imagine it's just supposed to be cheerleader themed, but the red could be I think we might be giving them too much credit. If I had made this specifically, yes, that is exactly what it would be.
We see Krusty, we see Mo, we see Edna, we see Lenny.
See Chalmers.
Carl.
See Brink's there. Brink's going to become more and more important throughout this.
Brink has a part, doesn't he? There's a relationship there that we'll unpack.
Sam, who wants a free t-shirt?
A Ford urinating on a Chevrolet.
Don't you usually laugh at everything?
Yes, I do.
That joke is not that unfunny that Cosby or whatever his name is wouldn't have laughed at it.
Well, I think I said at the time, like 12 years ago when we talked about this episode, that it is supposed to be, like this joke is so unfunny, even Hibbert isn't laughing. But I always took it as like there's something in the air. Something is wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong. But do we ever get a payoff of Hibbert then laughing at something like even less funny?
Nobody is the one who finds the cops. And says, so there's a missed opportunity for him to say she's dead and then laugh.
And then make some kind of comment about how he laughs when he's... Or looking at the T-shirt and saying, oh, I just got it.
Yes, that would have been like, yeah, the T-shirt covering her bloodied face.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been quite good. What we've established from their actual day here is that they both maybe have some unfinished sort of like bitterness towards each other. And then that is now sort of going... that's all seeping towards the Simpson family because they've realised that, that's a better place to put their bitterness.
Could be. So we imagine that whatever little towel mishap earlier is sort of forgotten, right?
Yeah, but I do think on a better day, if Maude was in a better mood, she may have been able to tolerate this and she wouldn't have got up.
Oh.
But she's having a day today where she's like, oh, I'm not dealing with this too. What next? Am I going to get hit by something mid-air?
What about... Did Neddy not at all think that maybe he should even offer to go for the things?
No, he does in hindsight, but he does not at this moment in time. But again, placements, maybe things are way more set in stone or decided than we are giving him credit for. Maude's at the end, so it makes more sense for her to go.
It does,
whereas
right?
If she had said it and had to get past Ned, I imagine he would have said, oh, I'll go. But this isn't one of those things that requires chivalry. He also can tell, like she's saying, I've had enough of looking at Homer. I'm going to go and get hot dogs. So if he went, oh, I'll go, that would have been bad for her.
I'll come doodly with you. But who's looking after the kids? Yeah,
exactly. They're not leaving those boys at this level of height with this man's bosoms flying around everywhere.
It's kind of strange that there's no kind of protected barrier behind them, isn't it?
Yeah, or some kind of net to fall into.
It's very dangerous. I was kind of surprised that Ned didn't follow up in some way.
Yeah, they immediately would have said, oh, this is... However, how much does politeness play into it if the tickets are from Morgana Huntington, her cousin?
Yeah,
then,
who doesn't even show up on the scene to apologise or go to the wake?
No, she doesn't care. But they care about her, so are they doing this to not be rude? Are they doing this like, well, these are the tickets she got us. It would be rude to make a scene and move. What's going to happen, really? Come on, Neddy.
Fair enough.
And that just it plays into the story later of him getting hyper safety awareness with the boys. Because he's now viewing every situation like, well, the worst can happen.
The worst will happen.
Yes.
You know it. It'll
My
happen
wife.
to- My
My
wife.
beautiful wife with her many voice changes.
Cool, I like.
Ruby has bosoms like that.
Yeah, I wish.
Clancy!
You added that, right? So, like, we get the impression that just off camera, Maudie's cousin, Sarah, is also with him, and I like that.
Her cousin. Yes, I just needed, considering the line was already, I wouldn't have gone out of my way to include Sarah had they not had that Clancy and Ralph moment.
No.
But given how important Sarah Wiggum has become to the Maudecast itself, it felt, again, there's things in this that are very much just love letter to Maudecast that are in there because of things that we've decided that have nothing to do with the show itself.
Well,
Sarah
they do
Wiggum
now.
being-
Now they're canon, and here's the thing: that's her second cousin appearing in this episode, right? Is Morgana a cousin of Sarah? Is that how it works?
No, I don't know. I can't remember. I think Sarah's on the other side.
Not everyone's a cousin to everyone else, right? I don't remember how families.
No, I cannot remember. But no, I think Morgana might be Maud's mum's side, and Sarah might be Maud's dad's side.
That is correct. I remember that now.
All I can take of Homer Simpson's torso. I'll get some hot dogs.
No footlongs.
I know. They make you uncomfortable.
What's that mean?
He doesn't like them because they look like dicks.
Yeah, but doesn't he have a huge horse style one that we saw in that?
In the same episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the very same episode. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's to do with eating them. However,
all right.
This is where he falters. This is where, he didn't have to say, "I'll go and get the hot dogs," but he doesn't say bye or thank you. He literally, it's an obnoxious Homer-esque thing to say to his wife, as opposed to "Oh, Maude, would you just make sure you get me such a thing, please? Thank you for going." Not just no foot, very demanding. But maybe it's also quite she's like, "Oh, I know." She's like, "I know you so well." They're just doing a little between each. Maybe this is them. This kiss on the forehead might be the "I forgive you for the towel incident." We're okay now.
I think so. I think it's the unspoken thing, and maybe Neddy, I don't know, was caught a little bit off guard, knowing that he hadn't been the best in the morning. But
maybe he's still pissed off with her.
Well, they would have. Oh yeah, there is that option, isn't it? They would have if this was the real show, they would have wanted to hammer it home a little bit more, I think, and maybe get rules of three, where there's maybe three little things gone wrong.
Yeah, I did cut a few more things out of this racetrack scene as well that you sort of build it up. Like Lenny gets hit by a tire and then stands up and he's okay, and everybody's excited for something fatal to happen.
Oh yeah.
So there's two good moral things in this scene that you can take away from it, is that everybody's excited for this sort of anonymous crash or fatality, and then they're all stunned when it happens to somebody that they actually know, and it's not just a character they've never met. It can happen to people they know, and they were all wishing for it.
They were all wishing for it.
The Neddy. We can go for the Neddy. If he is still pissed off about the towel thing, and that's why that's why he just says no footlongs, and it's a good lesson about not taking things for granted, not being annoyed for the sake of being annoyed, because she might never make it back with those hot dogs, and then you never get to resolve it.
That's true. It's one of those kind of things, though, but you wouldn't want to be like that all the time, of being oh, I can't ever say or do anything bad in case an act of God destroys this person.
True, but that is very much Ned's character.
That is very much Ned's character. So she kisses him.
Stepper in this scene.
She kisses him.
Well, I guess no one else wants a t-shirt.
That's a damn lie, and you know it. Give me a shirt.
You heard it, girls.
Homer's his best jar, isn't he? We get the ketchup and he puts the thing. Rod and Todd do not like this too. You can see him in the background.
Considering Maggie's wearing a helmet as well, it's kind of unbelievable that the Flanders family are not.
But I think the helmet's decoration, right? It's decorative.
Yeah, it's more for cuteness.
T-shirt.
Fire!
Ooh, a bobby pin.
Here we go. Here's the fateful day. Maud's come back. She's moving quite quickly. Only a single drink, as we've established before, even though there's 4 of them. But they like to be frugal, don't they?
Well, she could also be making 2 trips because there's so much stuff. She just never got to the second trip.
She never made that second trip.
She's so close to being sat.
I know. Like
her knee is already bending.
A mere Earth second later, and everything would have been different. We see.
The scream is I changed the scream to Maggie Roswell.
Ooh, a bobby pin!
AI Roswell or real Roswell?
Real Roswell, so that's from when Bart holds up a pair of Homer's socks to repel Maude's ghost in a later episode. So that is the only time I could really find Roswell Maude screaming. So
Okay.
I had to use it. I simply had to.
But that's great Zaz work. The great detective Zaz work finding that.
There's a lot of these things that wouldn't have made it that have just because we've sort of hammered them into the ground by like looking at them 5 or 6 different times because of me. They've just it's sort of like a Rolodex of this could go here actually, not a having to search.
A roller disco.
Exactly. Rolodex of Maude.
Maude?
He doesn't react very quickly, does he, Neddy? And in fact, we don't see anybody looking and saying, "Oh, she's fallen, grab her." Not that they would have been able to. No one's reacting at all. And then we see Neddy. We see the crowd gathering around her. Why is all that crowd outside? You might ask.
If you look at the crowd, it kind of looks like Rod and Todd are in the crowd.
It does look like Rod and Todd are there.
It's sort of too fast for him to react.
There's a little Toddy, right?
Yeah, that looks like Rod and Todd. You can see Otto and the blue. The blue, I believe, is Hibbert leaning over the corpse.
And Poochie.
Had Ned been...
Isn't that a foot long?
It kind of looked... Maybe it's for her.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That would have been even funnier if a foot long landed in his lap.
Indeed.
And then Hibbert makes that joke about... It's ironic that they went for sensitivity here, but we both would have ruined it with a joke.
Ruined.
But yeah, she's 4 minutes in, she's dead.
She is, isn't she? 4 minutes in of their podcast and an hour into ours.
Oh my lord, she's dead!
So hold on, what's happening here? That you've cut to the ad break?
Yeah, there's a lot of ad breaks in this that don't make sense. I forgot to keep track of how many there were.
It's well timed because we imagine this being 40 odd minutes would have been a double episode anyway, right? So
yeah, so it's roughly they work where they should work, but that is where the ad break was in the actual episode.
Oh yeah,
hearing the commentary is they said like the kind of joke would be that like how are they going to get out of this? Like how are they going to say she's okay, she's in a coma or something?
Oh, and then you done that easy.
Yeah, so people throughout the ad break are like, oh, what are they going to do now? Like, what's the end of this episode?
People in America fretting over Maude's demise. Oh, God, no. How are they going to get out of this one? Ha, ha, ha. Drinking a can of soda, and then it's like, oh, good Lord.
Yes.
Daddy, get up!
Hold on. Why are Rod and Todd so excitedly in their little suits waking up Neddy?
It cuts directly to the Simpson family once again. After the ad break, dealing with getting ready for the funeral. So you never see Ned, Rod and Todd prepping for the funeral, which I thought was important to see the silence in the Flanders home of that day. So it just sort of made more sense to me that Roddy and Toddy were up and ready, like the self-parenting, really. That's a testament to Maude. Like they knew they had to be ready for this time and have these suits on. And it's Neddy who's sort of already kind of losing his grip on things.
Yeah, and of course he goes and he continues to put the post-it notes.
It's hard to believe we're never.
And then we cut to whoever these Simpsons are blathering on about not seeing Maude anymore, even though we don't seem to care much about Maude. We care about what they think about Maude. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Apparently.
We're going to see Maude again.
And poor Ned didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Well, from now on, I'm never going to let you leave the room without telling you how much I love you and how truly special. This is really eating up a lot of time. Maybe just a pat on the butt. Yeah, that works.
He even looks at the camera like, come on, we could have done better than that.
Indeed. I liked it because it deals with what I just said. The idea of not letting Maude go for the footlongs without saying I love you. But some things I just left in without really thinking about it. Like this could have gone and we could have cut straight to the funeral. But
I think it's good if there'd have been a little bit more of a payoff from Homer instead of him just saying, this is taking much time. It's a bit lame even for Jar.
Indeed. I do like the pat on the butt though.
Oh yeah, very good. And I like this little cutaway where we see Helen, who's having a tough time accepting the loss of her friend, and she's guzzling communion wine.
Yeah, this also works. It's a little bit meta too, in that she's in my head, she's sort of acknowledging that she also might die because she's a Roswell voice. So like Helen is sort of going off the deep end because she might be next, but also the loss of her best friend. I just knew this was also very recent. This was like season 36 or whatever.
Yeah, so she's going off a bit of a bender, and I like that meta thing of like, and it would have been fun if there'd have been a wink to all of the ladies that she does the voice of, all kind of like fretting about, well, I could be next.
I did have I couldn't find anything that worked for Luann, but this was kind of the only thing I could find that worked without having to really change anything. And also, it's just same as with Sam and Larry. It's kind of very, very surprising, lazy, and interesting in a bad way that Helen is not in that episode at all.
Yeah, besties.
We said that she was too stabs to go to the funeral, so this is sort of backing that up.
I guess.
Oh, hey there, Mrs. Lovejoy.
And it's kind of fun that when she goes off the rails, she takes her brassiere off and then she goes to Moe's and smooches with Mo, the bartender, the one who actually wants to smooch with Maude Flanders.
Yes, and it's sort of, again, you can swap out Helen for Maude quite a lot, so if this had gone the other way, then this might have been what Maude was doing. Is also a bit of subtext you can keep in, with it being Mo. It just makes it. There's certain characters who recur throughout this episode, but because they were in scenes throughout the episodes that I chose, not because they were all, like Mo Frink specifically, pop up quite a lot throughout a string of episodes to do with Mo.
Mo loves it and he gets a slap for it.
I'm so desperately lonely.
I just wanted to put that in because it's great. It's not even from the same episode. It's from the season 8 or something.
As we can see Helen continuing their rampage, smashing up Tim's train set in the basement. Interestingly, another mirror with Maude, because the first time we saw Maude was coming down to Neddy's kind of little man basement to give him some club sandwiches.
Nice, yes, I didn't pick up on that. It's also another Shearer Roswell couple, not in sync with each other or having issues, but dialed up. Like Helen has way more problems with Tim than Maude ever had with Neddy.
Oh, indeed.
Did I do something?
I can die now.
I like that line is sort of ideal for what she could have said at the end of that scene in regards to this context. Like, that is her. That's the meta part for me, her saying that, like, her acknowledging, even though it's Roswell's voice, so it doesn't make any sense, that she's ready to go. Like, if it does come to that, she's ready.
So earlier when we saw Rod and Todd wake up Neddy, they were wearing their suits. Is it from the same clip? Same episode? No,
this is much later. But I just wanted to show them just, like, sort of waiting for the funeral in a sad way.
Just waiting sadly in the house. Yeah, it would be a very sad morning, wouldn't it?
We miss her.
Mommy had to go away. She's with God now. I can't do it, Maude.
And then we get a clip of the graveyard with Maude talking. Come on, Ned, you can do it.
All right, Ned. I just hope they have Us magazine in heaven.
In many ways.
Would have been a good callback if she said, they do have Us magazine in heaven.
It would. They I added that Rod and Todd line before I forget as well, from the one where Bart thinks that Ned's murdered
Right.
If you will.
What are they saying when Mummy's coming back? All right, okay.
They're like, where is she? We miss her. And he says, like, she's with God now. But and they've done the amount of dead Flanders stuff they've done prior, led to some good voice clips that were usable, such as Us magazine in heaven, etc.
Very good. So then we come to the actual funeral, the classic scene on the hill.
Maude Flanders was a supporting player in our lives. She didn't grab our attention with memorable catchphrases or comical accents.
Yar! Oh, Glavin, why, Glavin?
But
classic.
Whether you noticed her or not, Maude was always there, and we thought she always would be. Well, the good people at Fandemonium, as part of a generous settlement, will fire a 21 t-shirt. So
there you go, part of a generous settlement.
I imagine he did get a lot of money from there. You would have to. Maybe you got $4,000. That's what we're settling on.
That would have been a very fun joke.
Stab in the heart is what it would have been.
Yes.
Salute.
And then they got loads of like sponsors all over the coffin. I never quite got why what's his name? Willie is playing the bagpipes here. Are they somehow suggesting a relationship or suggesting that because of the ginger they're both Scottish?
No, I think it's just supposed to be they wanted Amazing Grace. They wanted someone to play an instrument to play Amazing Grace, and your basic choices are, well, Willie has bagpipes. It's nice for us, however, because of our Edinburgh ties. So within the realms of it being a Maude-cast episode, Willie is doing this because of their ties to Scotland.
Yeah. Now, one thing you said that in TV shows, we don't get to see the body, doesn't count. We know that trope, right?
They do see that, but in this case, I think if we had seen the body, it would have been a TV cancelling moment.
No, it's cartoon.
Yes, the crushed corpse of these children's mothers would have been fine.
Oh, he says finally, right?
Finally!
I don't know what I did with that. I own that T-shirt and I don't know where it went.
Let her R.I.P. Would have been funny if, what's his name had laughed.
Hibbert. Yes, it would.
Would have got the T-shirt down and gone, ho, 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 ho. And then they'd have some quip.
Yes, like now this I can get on board with, or something that's funny. Yeah, this scene is almost entirely unchanged, to be honest, because there are things I would have done with it, but I just basically cut out the stuff about, they do like a meta thing about things changing on The Simpsons, but it wasn't more focused enough, so I just cut it out. I would have, shown a few different people. There's not really much more they could have touched on the funeral. I think Lovejoy's speech is fine, but
fine. In many ways, blah, blah, blah. It's a good speech, that.
I would have the only other thing I would have done is the Investorettes would have been front and centre, but we've been over that many a time.
So then we cut to the wake, the normal wake. We got with Maudie's picture there. We zoom in on a sad Ned. Brink's there again in the background. Apu comes up to talk about the squishy points for a bit.
My friend, please know that the Quickie Mart is there for you 24 hours a day.
Oh, thank you, Apu.
And I'm going to give you all of Maude's frequent squishy points. The boys at headquarters will not like it, but I'm getting pretty sick of them and their Bombay attitude.
Yeah, it's enough there, Pooh.
Funny line. Pretty sick of them and their Bombay attitude.
I considered changing that to be Azaria's regular voice and then forgot, which I thought would have been funny.
Oh yeah, it's not acceptable anymore for him to even have said that, but surely it's acceptable for us to show it, given it was like a million years ago.
Indeed, and I also think it'd been funny if Hibbert was still in the background, absolutely pissing himself holding a T-shirt up. That should have been a running bit through this episode. That every time you see Hibbert, he's laughing more outrageously at the T-shirt he didn't find funny at the start.
Yes, that would have been a good RG.
He gets it more and more every time.
Yes. Brink once again in the background there, just hanging out like a doofus. And
Brink and Mo once again. Brink and Mo.
So then Mo turns up.
Look, Ned, I know we ain't hung out much, what with your insane fear of drinking and me being banned from the church and all, but that Maude, she was really something.
Oh, wasn't she? Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that.
No, I really mean it, though. I mean, if it was you that died, I would have been on her so fast.
What are you saying?
What? Nothing. She was hot. What? You can't take a compliment?
Hot, you monster!
That's good. No, let it out. That's it.
One of the best interactions for sure. We don't see Ned and Mo interact very often, right?
No, we do see it again in this, but not in this sort of way.
Let it out. Send me to more. That's it. Oh, here I come, baby. Oh yeah.
It's so disrespectful, isn't it? It's the best part of the entire episode.
It is, and it also again things are like running on from the other things. That could be because of the Helen and Mo interaction that has given this sort of desperation now to also have Maude, whether she's dead or not.
It wouldn't bother. Sadly, it wouldn't bother. What's his name, right?
No, this scene should have ended with this whole wait should have ended as they're walking Ned, as Homer's walking Ned to the to his house. Should have been Hibbert rolling around on the floor laughing at a T-shirt and Mo sneaking off with a shovel.
You should go play with Rod and Todd.
And so we see Rod and Todd out on the grass, rolling the ball sadly between them.
Oh man, why does everything bad have to happen to me?
Good line.
When I'm feeling low, you know what always cheers me up? Is it love? Kindness? Ooh, tough root.
They're such wieners, aren't they?
Yes, they are very wienery. And again, the best kids it could happen to.
I know, sadly.
Video games. What do you got? Billy Graham's Bible Blaster? Keep firing! Convert the heathens! Look out, Bert! The gentle Baha'i!
A gentle Baha'i.
Gentle Baha'i.
Alright, full conversion! Can we play now? You're playing. We're a team! Yay!
On what level do you think that they think they're a team?
Always, I think. I think they're very susceptible. I think they genuinely believed that.
So it's kind of more out of character for them saying, can we play, rather than them just, like, big up in Bart.
That is true, but it is their game. So it's something they're familiar with, as opposed to, like, a new thing. And maybe they're just feeling bold on the day, because it's a harder day for them.
It is a hard day, isn't it? What do you think Maude would be saying it to the boys? Would she saying they got to stick up for himself, or would she be quite happy that they were just kind of letting Bart do his thing?
I think she thinks for now it would be okay, but, you know, if you ask like 2 more times and he still says no, then you've got to kick off. But I decided to leave that in because it was the only thing in the original episode that dealt with Rod and Todd at all.
Oh,
that was
isn't it?
This is them, yeah, that's the grief over. Bart Simpson's healed their grief. So in this version, that is not the case.
No, we get lots more pain for the boys before eventually death.
Exactly. Eat my grief.
I can do to help out, and I'll put Ron and Todd to bed. Good night, Nan. Maude was a good woman. Actually, she was a good man, but that's a story for another doodly day. Thank you, Marge.
So you got a little gag in there that you put in where Marge, she's talking to Ned, and you extend the conversation. In the original, does Marge just simply say, you know, I liked Maude, and then they move on?
She doesn't mention her. She just says whatever the real Marge says there, and then Homer says, quit hogging Flanders.
Jeez,
so I added it simply because I had a nice clip of Margie putting Rod and Todd to bed, so I thought it would be more accurate if she did that on the day of the funeral, so Neddy didn't have to do it.
So she puts them to bed, and then but she also says Maude was a good woman, and all that stuff, and then he says she was a good man, and makes a little quip, little joke, wasn't he?
Yes, just for us, just another cast connection, or whatever this podcast is called, Modcast.
Indeed.
But yeah, I just thought it would be nice for somebody to acknowledge that they also thought it was sad that Maude had died. As, again, nobody other than Mo. Nobody. Mo and Apu are leading the front on this one. Homer and Marge are just simply being nice. I think Marge said something like, if there's anything we can do, let me know. That is it. And then, yes.
It's actually below the least you can do as the neighbor.
She was a good one.
Flanders, I want to comfort him.
It's nice of you, Homer, but I think I'll just go to bed.
Insist on walking you home.
Homer, this really isn't necessary.
Those feelings are normal, Ned. They're part of the process. Never easy.
Could you ask Mommy to come to Daddy in a dream and tell him how to cut our sandwiches? Oh. And please tell Mrs. Simpson it's rude to eavesdrop on our prayers.
Not only is it rude, it's a bit weird on the very first night that she's going, oh, instead of like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's creepy. It makes more sense that this happened like 5 seasons later, but in this context, it's I still think it works because Rod and Todd we've already seen them be a bit chirpy with Bart, so they're already immediately continuing the conversation.
Well, they're just like, now, you know, Mummy's not here, but we can still pass our messages to her, right?
Yes, and what we're talking like a week here, so they've had a week of Ned sandwiches and decided enough is enough.
Oh, so we're already fast forward from the day?
No, I don't think the funeral happened the day of the death, or the day after. In fact, it was probably like
gave it a few days, right? The corpse cool down.
Exactly. Put her back together.
Good Lord.
But we forgive her.
You want anything else? Water? Chili fries? How about some white noise?
Does this do the seagull noise here?
No, I believe that's with Marge.
Does he do a silly thing here, or does he just play it straight with the white noise? Plays it straight, doesn't he?
Yes, but the fact that he can make that noise is the joke, I think.
Not much of a joke. I reckon I could do that.
Exactly.
She liked fancy stuff, didn't she?
She did, but not really.
She had a hankering for fancy stuff.
I flipped the scene as well, so I've flipped a lot of it actually with Mirror, hoping that would pass the YouTube thing, and it did not.
No, it didn't.
So now he's actually on the correct side of the bed, as opposed to sleeping in her mound.
Rocked.
It does work in my head that Margie's in the next room, putting Ron and Todd to bed because of the prior clip. It does feel like that is happening
Oh,
simultaneously.
yeah. No, that's good. That was a good choice.
Sleep tight, Nettie.
So the first thing we notice here is that the rot has gone, and
Yes,
a little kiss on the head there for. But of course, he's sleeping in the rot, isn't it? Because you reversed it. So
yes, that is true. I don't mind this at all. I think Homer, this is the nicest. This is probably the closest to respect Maude would pay Homer in ghost form.
Reckon?
He's actually genuinely looking after Ned with there's nothing to gain here.
What about when he did the vag delivery?
The what? Oh yeah. Yeah, that was pretty close. But this is that was more like he was helping Maude, and he was still doing it to get his own family back.
Oh yeah.
Whereas this is purely nice. He's probably still furious that he killed her, but at least he's making up for it somewhat.
Uncynical for sure. I think Homer should still have some seething resentment of Ned. I think it makes it more funny that he's
jealous that he has two dead wives.
He's jealous of a man who has gone through so much pain. Very unfortunate for me. But of course, he's reaching over to the Maude rot, so that undoes all your good work. Of course, if you'd have chopped that little bit out, we would never have known.
Yeah.
And then, yes, that very same night, he's visited by a ghost.
It's wildly seamless, I will say, for my own work. That's probably the most seamless part of this episode, considering those two clips are 21 years apart. And he is still it looks like this is exactly the same night. Like he's still got his arm out in the same place. He's still in the same pajamas.
Nettie? Nettie?
Oh, Maude, you've come back. Wait, buddy.
So Maude just comes back for a second and then she's disappeared. What's that all about?
It's Nettie just having a dream.
Oh,
but in this context, that is what happens in the episode as well. It is just Nettie having a little dream, but again, like season 33, not like 5 minutes after she died.
It works really well. So she appears to him in a dream, but then she immediately vanishes, and that pushes him over the edge. And we see the Homer's sleeping in his like a man in absolute pain.
He does look like that. However, I do believe that he has just been woken up by a rock being thrown at the window is what's happening.
All right.
But we're just caught in mid-wake. But he looks agonized.
Oh, you want a rock fight, eh?
No, Homer. I just need to talk.
So this is the same few nights later, night of the wake, and Neddie's bothering Homer, and he has a rock. He has a little bucket with war rocks on his cabinet, which is funny. And he has a big one with Flanders' name on it. But Flanders said, "I just want to talk."
Write down.
Just keep.
And Jar takes us to a few rocks in case he wants to throw a few rocks at this widower.
Yeah, I like the idea that he thinks Ned still might be tricking him into a rock. I'm not gonna fall on this hurdle.
Now this could possibly be one of the worst parts of the episode. This is where in the original one, they were like, what's the quickest way to get past Ned's grief?
Yeah, this is basically the last scene in the episode, the original episode, that deals with Ned being sad that he has lost a wife and not being sad that he is on his own. This is it for him being like, Homer basically says, get over it, and he does. So that doesn't fly, which is why there's still 31 minutes left in my version. I don't mind it in my version.
I didn't mind the idea that they were sitting having a chat, and Jar was being like a very nice friend, and obviously makes a few faux pas where he admits to killing Maude several times, which he just brushed off, and using it just as a function to get to the next part is very poor.
Yeah, and my version also has a reasoning, as opposed to in the normal one, it cuts from him being, putting the hand across the bed, good night, Nettie, straight to throwing the rocks at the window. So the little ghostly interlude just adds a little bit more of, she's right in his mind, and he can't, she's faded away. He can't even interact with her in his dreams, and he's freaked out.
There's that, but you needed a little bit more, though. You needed a little bit more of a scene in there to be like, Nettie, it's time to let me go. And he'd be like, no, I can't, not yet. Not till I've had a very brief chat with my next door neighbor.
Yeah, so why didn't you, something to spur on his guilt, like, Why didn't you go, Neddy? Why didn't you get the footlongs, etc.?
Exactly. Why didn't you send more to me?
Yes.
Keep
So there's
replaying the whole thing in my head. I can't believe my last words to Maude were no footlongs.
Yep, it would have been a lot better if you'd said I love you or you're special.
Ooh.
You know, something sweet instead of that hot dog crack.
If I'd only been a gentleman and got the hot dogs myself, she'd still be here.
Now, don't beat yourself up. I'm the one who drove her out of her seat. I'm the one who provoked the lethal barrage of T-shirts. I'm the one who parked in the ambulance zone, preventing any possible...
Look at Ned. It's the first time he's realised this, and he's so angry.
And it's definitely the first time he's realised that he parked in the ambulance bay as well. This is definitely new information for him, which again he just lets go in the original. I don't think that he would, considering the things that he has sort of got annoyed with Homer for before. There's things where he's not let it go this quickly. I just can't think of any examples right now.
Resuscitation. Yeah, but there's no point in playing the blame game.
You're right. I just gotta work through the grief. There's not gonna be an easy answer.
Yeah, I mean, I get it to be like, okay, Ned's just going to work through the grief, but just to, not to at least smack Homer's chops off and then walk away.
Well, that goes immediately from that line to Homer saying easy answer, right? And then getting a video camera and starting to film Ned for a dating profile that he doesn't want.
The joke could have still worked if Homer had gone easy answer, and then he'd gone for the video camera and Flanders had taken his video camera and smashed it to bits and jumped up and down on top of it.
Yes, that would have been nice. Here's your easy answer. So I needed to be some kind of Homer Ned retribution in my version.
Well, let's see how you deal with it. So it is same night. Neddy's gone back to bed. He's having a rest. We see him with his shotgun. We imagine this is a dream. He's gone to the top of a tower.
There's Homer. There's Homer too. That's also Homer. That's Homer.
And he wakes up in a sweat because he realizes that in his dream he's been popping off people left, right, and center. Nadia Popoff.
Yes, he has come to realize that he truly does have an issue with Homer in this moment. And there's something about Ned's dreams. It also applies to Todd in this episode, but the dreams seem to have a big influence on what they do in the non-dream world.
Which is interesting because they're not mystical, right? Like there's no, I guess a lot of the Bible stuff, like things come to people in dreams, right?
Exactly. In this version, he's shocked that it took him so long to realize. At least this time he's murdered his wife, and it's not just because he ruined a family picnic.
And it's the very next morning.
Oh, hey, Flanders. Oh, you look so... You get beat up at the circus?
A very disheveled Neddy comes back and throws his sweater at Homer. That is a really good
Now
Flanders.
that I've literally given you the shirt off my back, you and I will never have anything to interact ever again.
Now
What do you think about his voice before you do?
His voice, it sounded Neddy. It sounded normal Neddy.
Ever again.
Yeah, that's normal Ned.
Yeah, this is the most recent episode in this episode. This is from like March this year. This came after I'd made the entire episode. I believe that's why it's called Redo.
Right.
Because I felt this would be an absolute perfect way to have Ned say to Homer, "Get out of my life."
Yes, so just to be clear, you decided that it wasn't enough for Ned and Homer just to have a little chat to be passed off. You now have added this entire subplot where they are they're enemies.
Yeah, and it's kind of new. None of this was actually in my version until this episode came out. Like, even I didn't really deal with the Ned Homer thing.
And that Ned looks really great.
It would have been nice, unrelated-ish, but it would have been nice, considering Neddy's t-shirt's pink, if Maude had a little bit of green in her outfit, so they had some kind of tribute to each other, like green earrings, etc., but she does not.
In fact, these are the last words I'll ever say to you.
I've never seen Ned that upset.
Well, I guess that's no good for me.
Act break, isn't it? And that definitely sounded like an old woman, Marge.
Yes, Marge is, it feels mean. It feels mean that the world is just letting her continue. But she's like, that's true.
All right, act break. We are now there 3 silent months later. Did you put that in, or is that?
No, that is from the Flanches episode, but I did prior to this, I had already done my own 3 months later, etc.
Okay.
I just swapped it out for this.
But this is basically saying that Homer and the next thing we see is that Homer and Ned have not spoken for 3 months and they're just getting on with their lives, and we're at the Springfield Mall.
Indeed, or more so that Maude has been dead for 3 months.
Or that as well, yeah. But the silent bit suggests that the most important bit is them not talking.
Yes, true. It also could just imply that, you know, things have not been joyful at the Flanders house, but that's a bit of a stretch. I wanted the ad breaks to have some Maudio in them, so I used as many Maudio clips as I could where she's referencing death, and that one's from that Australian news interview.
Oh yeah, well, she says I'm dead, and she'd already left, right? Passed on that character to somebody else.
Yeah, the guy has no prior information of the show that he's talking about.
Anytime a TV show has been on for 19 years, g'day, mate.
Baboon tunes.
All right, so we're at the Leftorium.
Sir, I'm about to make your day.
Ned's coming out. Ned's at the Leftorium. He's not buying Homer's fake Jojo Jr. Shabadoon with 5 arms.
Just need a full oral presentation on all of your left-handed wares. Spoken, please.
Well, this is Homer trying to trick Ned into like talking to him.
Yes, that is true. I only left this in because it made me laugh, which is a twist in the tale, isn't it? Expresses some guilt on Homer's part as well. Like he does. It was important for me to also show that Homer does probably feel bad.
Oh yeah, so Homer feels bad not just because stupid sexy Flanders isn't talking to him, but he feels like he's got to make it up because he was responsible for his wife's death.
Yeah, he feels like even within it's the self-awareness that they do sometimes. Like even Homer knows that this is a stretch for what you can get away with, even in a cartoon.
Even in a cartoon, anytime you've been anytime you've been on the earth for 19 years.
Left-handed apple peeler, left-handed chip clip, left-handed.
Okay, so but we get a little clip to show that Neddie's still putting the messages on the mirror for Maude every morning, and he's out there. Still no jumper, but he's cutting that hedge.
That's quite good. I didn't even notice that.
What's that?
That's interesting. He's not wearing the jumper, and it's again a clip from like 20 years earlier.
Oh.
Also,
a
second point that I've forgotten. Oh yeah, it would have been a longer. This is supposed to be anytime a show's been on 19, anytime you see him doing the post-it note, it's supposed to imply that it's a different day, a new day.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I got that.
Good.
What's on your mind? No, Marge. Maude and I.
So Marge reaches out. So Ned's pretty reasonable. He's not holding Marge accountable for the boys' late night parties, and he's like, she's okay.
What? That didn't happen here. In this context, Ned just didn't sleep because he was furious that Homer had killed his wife.
Oh yeah, that's right. That makes more sense. So Ned's furious that he just couldn't sleep because of the murder thing, and now Marge is reaching out.
Had a fight right before she died.
Nettie, when you're drying your hands with our monogram towels, can you use the NF towel, not the MF?
You know, maybe I should use a towel marked BDD, Big Diddly Deal.
I played that fight over in my mind 1,000 times a day.
That's a lot. Did you slow down the blinking so that she was paying more attention?
Yes, there's some things as well that, like, to get out of a scene without it just feeling like it ends in like a super quick cut, I just slowed things down and did
That's a good one. It's good that you did, because I would have just cut, scum. You set it up a little bit.
Just a bit.
And now we're watching them. So it's the glum, the sad boys are all watching a videotape of a Maudy Christmas and a Neddie New Year. They're watching it on a very strange, very simple VCR.
Yes, it also this is used as an implication that they've sort of shut themselves off and they're in this little bubble of, sitting together every night and watching these videos and just living in that safety bubble. Like this is the 3 months have taken a toll on Ned in regards to realizing that they are not immortal.
No, they're not functioning well either. So you watch the clip where sweet Maude is holding up Toddy to put the star on.
Well, I have faith in you.
I have faith in you. That's not Marge. That's That's not Maggie Roswell, is it?
Yeah, but it really is strange, isn't it? It doesn't very much sound like Maude at all.
You think she forgets the voice sometimes, or finds it hard to get like it across in only a few words?
Yeah, I think that's probably the main issue. Is "Well, I have faith in you" doesn't have a lot of leg room for Maudiness.
Could you do it?
But, well, I have faith in you. No, not really.
There you go. You got two sounds in there.
Well, I have faith in you.
You're not from Wigan.
Please continue.
What have you done with my family? Answer me! Oh, Dad, every time we make you shovel the driveway, you wind up someplace crazy.
Yeah.
Won't you join us for dinner?
He sure will. I'll pick him up tomorrow.
Shows us that Maude's super nice and super kind, even though Grandpa Simpson's a jerkwad, and so is his son.
Yes, I also, in hindsight, should have added, if possible, here a little bit where Ned fast forwards through whatever Homer says because he's still mad at him.
Yeah.
The fact that he's watching these videos with his kids to reminisce about the wife mum, and the murderer is still in the videos. He's still coming in like, what was that, like 7 years earlier when they were both like toddlers and rodless. And he's the guy who eventually leads to a death is still there being like, yes, you can host my father for dinner and have him stay over.
Yeah, that would have definitely, in terms of the feud, would have made a little bit more sense, especially even if that audition video would have popped up there as well.
Oh yeah, that would have been. He would have thrown the VCR through the window into the home of. He would have killed Homer's wife.
That could have been. That also could have been the triggering incident if he pushed him to the very edge and he was like he couldn't sleep and he went downstairs to kind of watch a video of Maude on that same night, and then he was sitting there, and then that clip broke through, and then that was enough for him to just scream and then just go next door.
Indeed, they should do a Trios of Horror where Ned very calmly goes next door and says, I am going to take your wife, and then just very calmly tries to Marge for 7 or 8 minutes.
Indeed.
And there's no laugh.
No laugh track, no swimmer.
Mommy was so nice.
And she still is, Rodley Dodley.
How do you know? Have you heard from her?
Oh, no, sir. But faith is believing in something without proof.
That's right. But the boys are going to get a visit soon, right?
If it was simple, this is the thing. If it was simply a Ned episode, we would jump now to we'd skip maybe the next 10 minutes because they did nothing to address Rod and Todd. But we're sort of moving on from Ned a bit, the Ned and Homer stuff.
Do you reckon what are the chances of them after seeing this? They'd be like, you know what, we done did her dirty, and we're going to remake the episode just like you've done it.
That would be beautiful. That would be a wonderful tribute to me and probably Cashless.
To a lesser extent, me.
Yes, and they also then sue us. But yeah, very important for me to look at Rod and Todd, and we sort of shift away from Homer and Ned for a bit and move into Todd's stuff.
All right.
Todd goes down the Ned route just earlier.
Well, again, that makes a lot of sense. It's all in canon, right?
It's all relative. Yeah, it makes sense that Todd is the most susceptible, and then I think Todd's breaking faith obviously then leads to or adds to Ned's concern that eventually leads to his breaking faith.
Breaking bacon.
Mommy, give me a sign.
This is Homer Simpson auditioning for the Air Guitar Championship of the World. I'm taking you down, Bjorn Tarak.
A very sad Toddy. He just wants to see his mama, and in the end he gets Jar auditioning for their guitar.
They have two videos that we see of that they have to look back on Maude, and both of them are ruined by the same man who also killed her.
Good Lord.
I imagine Todd and Rod at this point would be terrified of Homer.
They would not like him too.
They would not. He would be like the boogeyman, the bugger man, if you will. And then this dream I wanted to make scarier for Toddy.
So Toddy's having his dream. It's the one we've seen before. He's having a nice old time with Mummy dragging him along through Candyland.
Faster, Mommy, faster!
He falls down as he demands she takes him up the hill faster. She does, and he falls, and then...
Okay, boys, time for bed. Say goodnight.
Oh, so now you've done some like digital jiggery pokery there to make what would have just be turning and seeing her faceless, I repeat. Now you've done all kind of colors and shapes. And let's watch it a little, then you can tell me. So we see both versions of the ghost Maude, the regular ghost, and especially the scary ghost, the faceless Maude. And the bird that is vomiting candy. And that takes us to the next day. But yeah, tell us about that dream.
I added a couple of things. I added some Simpsons Inception music to make it spookier. I added the ghost thing as if Todd was seeing that, as if it never happened within Trace of Horror, and it was Todd experiencing that nightmarish version of his mother.
Good. It's a good one.
The laugh is also from that Trace of Horror, where she's like demonic ghost laughing.
Yeah.
And I believe it's time for okay, boys, it's time for bed. Say goodnight is from the Homer Loves Flanders one, but it was fitting, time for bed. Say goodnight. It's quite ominous. Something I just realised, like now as we watch that as well, is the thing that the catalyst for the dream turning spooky is that Todd falls from a height.
Indeed. So the fall,
the running theme of that being the tragedy that sparks some things is interesting because it was never meant to be a running theme.
Do you answer why he finds his mother scary now that she's passed on?
I think it's just a nightmare. I think it's just Toddy having a bad. Toddy's got a wild imagination. Like in the episode itself, he does have it's a scary nightmare for him because he sees his faceless mother.
Yeah, but that has a reason because he's forgetting her, right?
Yeah. I imagine this is just sort of happening frequently to him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like it's obviously on his mind, and they're both quite fearful boys. So I think Toddy these are the kind of dreams Toddy would have.
The way around that would have been when they asked Ned earlier if Mummy has seen them. He could have said, quite honestly, because this happened, that she comes to me in the dreams sometimes. And that might have set off Toddy's imagination.
True. There is also some ominousity to him saying no in this context though as well. Like, have you seen her? No. And then Toddy sees her and she's not the same anymore.
That's right.
Therefore, there is no God.
Something to set him off. I just needed something a little more to set him off.
Yes.
But it was good dreams.
You need to scare the God out of him.
Yeah. Anyway, so we get the next day.
Listen up, Flanders. We need to talk about this so-called vow of silence of you. You go first.
Homer J tries to get Ned to speak, but to no avail.
I've never seen my daddy so angry before. My dad has so many bad things to your dad, and I think your dad has finally had enough.
Very perceptively, so 3 months into the... I just left this in because they were talking about it. It felt, I might as well use the relevancy of it, even if it doesn't really do anything.
I guess it sort of sets up that the kids are okay with each other, and everybody's okay with each other except for them two, more or less.
Yeah, and Toddy is...
you think that's supposed to be Todd?
It is Todd.
Oh, right.
Who did you think it was?
I thought it was Rod. He looks a bit tall for Todd.
No, it's tiny Toddy. It just doesn't sound like Todd.
No, he doesn't.
But yeah, it also, he's just had this dream, woke up, and now he's properly acknowledging that the neighborhood dynamic has changed as well. Like, a lot of things are changing for Todd, and he doesn't handle it particularly well, as we see.
Certainly does not.
I really don't think this is gonna blow over.
Oh my God, look what's blowing over! Leaves from my tree! And they're going...
Boo. That's the worst, isn't it? So Homer's trying to get Ned now to be angry with him, to talk to him?
Yeah, he's trying to... He doesn't think that... This is where we're back into Homer being a silly man. He doesn't think that Ned needs the space he deserves. He's going to piss him off into being his friend again, which is not going to work.
No.
Into Flanders' yard. Neighbors fight over this kind of thing all the time, so I bet you have something to say to me about it. Oh, come on, Flanders, yell or something. Put me in my place.
Should we help your dad or wait till he stops twitching? I find it's best to wait.
Oh, that's awful, that whole thing. It's like, we don't have a joke, so we're just going to have Homer fall out of the tree and then kind of drool and twitch for a bit.
Yes, that is true. It only stayed in for these two reasons. Number one, it makes Homer seem a bit sort of desperate and adds to the guilt, if you will.
Yeah.
If you look at it this way, he's desperate for the things to be back to normal. We're neighbours and we fight. Even sort of to the point of dismissing the fact that the wife isn't there anymore.
That's right.
And then also his brief, this is the only form of punishment we're going to get in this episode, is in a karmic way. He falls from height and it hurts him.
Yeah, it would have been fun if Todd had gone ha ha, and then Nelson would have like given him a thumbs up or something like that.
That would have been good, but it did not happen. And even again, it shows Todd, even in his moments of godlessness, he's still concerned about helping Homer.
Toddlessness. He hasn't lost his god yet, though, as far as we know.
No, that's true. He's on the journey to it, but he's still, oh, shall we help that man who killed my mom?
Godful. Do you think Rod or Todd know or think that Homer had a part in it, a big part in it? Do they think that way?
Well, they were there, so
What did they see? They saw Homer dancing. They saw Homer dancing, and then they saw Mommy getting hit by the things, and then that was it. So that they did. I don't think they would have necessarily, especially not Toddy, without any external kind of pushing from Ned. I don't think they would have made that connection.
That's valid. I can make that. Yeah, and considering they think everything is an act of God, they probably really wouldn't put too much of the blame on Homer anyway.
No, it's fate, isn't it?
I'll give you that one. First
Church of Springfield, we're at the church now. They're all going in there. In this version, Neddy doesn't lose his faith immediately. He doesn't question it at this point, which is fair enough. He's a God-fearing man. He doesn't ask too many questions, and they're in church. It's been about 3 months, right?
Now I'd like to invite our littlest parishioners to the front. Gertie, a little traveling music, please. So tell me, young Christians, if you could...
Is there a joke there? Is there just padding? What's the joke?
He says something like, as soon as we can, we'll replace it with Spotify.
All right. So now we've got kind of a Sesame Street rival called Bless-a-Me Street, and we've got the twins, Sherry Terry, the other twins, Todd Rod, and the single twin, Ralph. And no Simpsons children.
No, they aren't cute enough to make it to this cute little Sesame Street thing.
Could speak to baby Jesus. What would you say?
I'd say thank you for being born, because that gave us Christmas. Aww. I'd say
Rod's doing okay.
I'd say, baby Jesus, thank you for dying for our shins.
Cousin.
You, Todd? What would you say?
I lost my voice from crying. I'd say, thanks for nothing. My mommy's dead and she's never coming back, and I don't believe in God anymore.
That's the best, isn't it? That's the absolute best. I'd have to say it's one of the best things we've ever seen from one of the Flanders family.
It is great. The line "I lost my voice from crying" is a great setup line for this scene.
Is there any reason for them saying that?
For Todd saying it.
Yeah.
He's the thing that's going on with him in the actual episode is that he can't remember what she looks like, and he's just starting to realise that life is unfair.
But the voice thing makes no sense, right? It's completely unnecessary.
Oh yeah, it's just sad. It's just supposed to be like they're all up there to say something cute about God.
Yeah.
And it's the saddest thing you could.
I just like the fact when something that doesn't seem to have any reason that they could have the scene would have absolutely worked exactly the same if he hadn't mentioned that his voice was going. And I just wonder whether the actor actually had a bad voice on that day.
Maybe, but it seems like she did not, as the next lines are all completely fine.
Just clearing your throat in it. But it's brilliant. He just throws the mic down and just says, let's see Sale. Let me hear that one more time.
Thanks for nothing. My mommy's dead and she's never coming back, and I don't believe in God anymore.
But what about his brother, Rod? What does, like, you see Rod's face, he's absolutely shocked by this. What's going through Rod's mind at this point?
Rod has the least breakdown out of the three of them, to be honest. So I think Rod is just horrified at what's going on at this point. Rod can't believe that they're in this situation, or that it's not butter. Todd's always been the sort of slightly more confident one. So the fact that Rod is just continuing to get on with things in a terrified fashion.
Now, is that because he's not thinking about it as much, or he's just not as sensitive, or he's just a truer believer?
I think probably all three. He has some kind of... He never considered... Out of the three of them, he's the one that never considered God might not be real. Rod's things come from fear. in this episode. His issues, they come from like fear of doing things because he might get hurt or something bad might happen to him.
But his faith doesn't waver in the slightest. He just thinks that Todd's probably gone a bit mad.
Yeah, I think Rod, just given the context of the clips, Rod is probably the one that still thinks, oh, well, God is looking after her and it was supposed to happen and I'll see her, I'll see her when I see her.
He hasn't had any visitations in dreams, right?
No, it doesn't seem like it.
It's the final catharsis, isn't it, in the Maude story that we fixed. In this episode, you fixed the actual episode where they disrespected Maude. And then, spoiler alert, in the next few episodes, we're going to fix everything so that before we actually leave the Maude cast, not only have we looked at every single clip that Maude is involved in, we've also completely built an entire universe and backstory around her, which will continue for many years to come. We've also fixed the episode, by we, I mean you, the episode that where they disrespected her and killed her.
It's a big show. This is going to be the first episode of the Maudecast that is like 2 hours long or whatever it's going to end up being, 3 hours long. That is entirely us talking about Simpsons.
No.
Brennan in there for how long you going to be? I need the shitter.
Sorry, Stamp. We're going to be quite a while longer. You're going to have a rest.
All right, boys. You're doing a good job.
Thanks, Stamp.
Thanks, Stamp. Big question is, because we know that Maude is able to see all of this stuff, or I believe, although that hasn't been mentioned at all yet, what's she seeing and what's she thinking about this?
Indeed, I did think it was important to not see her as a ghost or in heaven for the entire episode, because that just sort of takes the edge off things too much.
Okay.
But I imagine she is there and she is settling in. But I think she's probably very maybe Buddhist about it, ironically. I don't know if Buddhists do this, but
no,
sort of let it play out. Like Toddy is. These are all Earth issues that are going to get resolved. I don't think she thinks, oh Christ, like he's not going to make it up here.
No,
It would be quite funny if you cut from this scene to Maude and God and probably Bob Hope watching this on a television, and then Maude has to sort of nervously look at God and, say something.
God, because they're always cornered, those. God would turn and he'd say, don't worry, Maude, I've seen the end and I know he's okay. And
exactly.
Which would then make her even sadder to think of what that means.
He's okay and you'll see him real soon.
Oh, God. You'll see him in never years, but also right away. Now, predictably, Neddy's actually...
No! Oh!
Neddy faints in his comedy way.
Thank God these collection baskets were empty.
You're welcome.
Get a little, in case we forget, any time that Homer hasn't been on screen for more than 3 seconds, he needs to say some jerk-ass quip.
Exactly.
Thank God these collection baskets were empty.
You're welcome.
We're all going to hell! You opened the doorway to disbelief in God's own house!
Why does God...
Good Lord. So they're sitting down on the couch and Ned just goes for it. I understand he's stressed, but surely that's not how he would respond, is it?
It seems like it is. That was one of my favourite bits that I did. That happy, cheery opening Simpsons music sting and then Ned screaming, we're all going to hell.
Oh, no, that's good, actually. Very good.
I think he is probably in panic mode now because he is now thinking it changes things. Like if Maude was there and they were all going to hell, he probably would still prefer that to the 3 of them going to hell and still not reuniting with Maude after death. So I think he's letting his real post-grief emotions out, and he's not being a father at the minute. He's being an angry widow who thinks that this kid, who is his, has just blocked his return to his wife after death.
Now, here's the question. Any thoughts at all going through Neddy's mind that Maude might not have made it?
No, not between the 3 of them, not in 1,000 billion years. Maybe, I think everybody else in town will probably be questioning it.
Really?
But a lot of them probably. The ones who saw, like a bit of her real side, like Sarah and her best friend Shauna.
What about the fact that she watched Hibbert's brother die?
Exactly. Hibbert probably had the chance to bring her back. I think we talked about that, and he chose to not.
Does Ned know about that at this point?
No, nobody other than Louis. That's the one thing nobody will ever find out about that.
Now, you would say that that would be enough for her to not get to heaven, but we know full well that she gets there from the many times we've seen her. So it's not, it's a moot point, isn't it?
Need so many houses. Couldn't some go to
Todd
poor
thinks
people?
Todd thinks she's what? Ass?
Ash.
Ash from Pokemon.
Yes, indeed.
Daddy,
Gotta
why
burn
do we
them
have
all.
to catch them all? So then Todd complains about Lord
Stop right
having
there,
many
boy.
houses.
You do not question God's real estate holdings and tax-free status. Phew, I have to let off a little steam.
Maude, please come back and shut this little bitch up. Doodly diddly.
Good Lord. So what? So I'll give you a little bit. I'll cut you a bit of slack there. Ned might. Ned would have probably said something like, "Oh, Maude, please help me. Get me through this," or something like that, right?
Yeah, no, that was fully a moment just for myself. There's some moments in this that absolutely wouldn't fly, even
No,
if the show
but I think
was...
him leaving and saying something to Maude, because when he leaves, he doesn't say anything to Maude, does he?
No, he just says shucks, I think, 3 times.
All right.
So it is better that he says something Maude. But again, this episode it still would have worked, actually, because it's the Todd God episode. So
Yeah, Todd God Rod.
Wouldn't have been a completely random reference. Yeah, I also the bits at the end are just what got left in. Sometimes you do the text to speech thing and it keeps going and makes noises.
Oh, I thought he was crying.
No, I just asked for somebody please shut this little bitch up, and then it just carried on going with like noises.
But in your mind, was he crying? Like when you left those noises in?
They were not crying so much as like losing his mind noises.
All right.
Like some kind of trance where he is communicating with heaven or something.
Indeed. So we cut to exterior of Flanders' house. Next morning, Neddy goes through, puts the little message on the board, and he's on the mirror for Maude, and then he goes down to breakfast to see if Toddy has changed his ways.
Good morning, Rod, Todd, God.
Good morning.
Let us stiffly resume our nice regular routine. Dear Lord, we thank you for this breakfast, each generic brand Circle O, a symbol of God's unending love. Amen.
Amen.
Todd, son, can I just...
Toddy won't say it, and then he says the line. Can I get an amen, right?
He does.
Get an amen?
Now let the music play!
Oh yeah, you didn't miss it.
No, of course I did not miss it.
I'd forgotten that you didn't miss it.
Absolutely not. To the moon. Again, things that wouldn't... There's some things in here that are explicitly Maudecast that make no sense even in the realms of a Maud Flanders podcast. So some things just had to stay in. The one thing I should have done in this is when he comes in, I should have had him greet Maude as well, as he greets God.
He would have said, "Good morning, Rod. Good morning, Todd. Good morning, God. Good morning, Maude."
That's what I meant, yeah.
Good
A prayer without an amen is like a Tootsie Pop without a center. I apologize for thinking the word Tootsie.
But a good point made that Todd is now godless, but Rod is still godded.
He's now apologising for having a thought.
I know, good Lord. So later that day, Marge is coming around to the Flanders house. Let's see what she's doing.
I'm so glad you're watching the boys, Marge. Here are the numbers for the police, fire, ambulance, poison control, burn clinic, and people nearby with Rod and Todd's blood type.
Ooh, Carl. Here's
do we know why she's looking after? Do we find out later?
Yes, I believe I've framed it so he just needs some time on his own.
All right,
so he just goes for a couple of sad night walks to clear his mind. So
SNWs.
Yeah, the one thing that unfortunately had to be cut in this whole thing when I put the the Homer and Ned stuff that came recent, there is a bit where Homer mentioned, Ned says something about Homer falling into the grave. Like the funeral was 6 months ago, he fell into the grave.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he did also do that, but had to go because Homer and Ned were not talking, and it just sort of fell out of place
at this point. But the falling in the grave is a fun line. So they're making that. So Marge has come over. She hasn't brought the kids. She's left the kids presumably with Homer.
Presumably.
She's come over to make some fun paper plate masks.
I'm a Star Wars.
I'm a Star Wars.
It's quite Maude.
Well, the boys wouldn't know what that means, right?
No, they're as clueless as she is. Also, yeah, this is from the Rod episode. So some nice stuff. It fits that Marge would step in for Maude at this time and try and order her friend by normalizing her children.
A little bit of surrogate mummyhood.
Indeed.
Now let's see who you've drawn.
I'm my brother Todd. I'm my brother Rod. Ah, this is too scary. Change back.
That's very sweet and very funny. I prefer it without the "this is too scary, let's change back." I think it was just a very sweet of them to be "I'm my brother Todd and I'm my brother Rod." It's very funny.
It is cute. It fits that Rod is the one that's scared, given that that's the journey he's going to go on.
Yeah. Do you see the eye roll there from Marge?
Marge knows what she's dealing with. She's used to, America's biggest underachiever, and a question nobody asked. I think I would have changed it so they both said "I'm mommy" and then said "I'm scared."
Yeah,
that is my only change, which I could have done with the text to speech, but I did not.
Could have done it where this would have been a little bit off color, but maybe Marge would have had another plate and she said, "And I'm your mummy," and then they would have both got scared, and maybe that would have triggered the dream as well, the bad dream.
Yes, that would have been good. They would have really taken a disliking to that, I think.
Slightly misjudged.
Yes. And then Neddy walking sad.
Ned is on his sad night walk.
Nettie, when you're drying your hands with our monogram towels, can you use the NF towel, not the MF?
Nettie, I've had about all I can take of Homer Simpson's torso.
Beautiful. So you overlaid like Maudie's greatest hits right over his sad walk, and then of course it's doubled down by the Lonely Men Die Early newspaper report.
Indeed. So I just added the Maudie bits. The rest of the scene was fine. But the two I chose I needed that one in because he said he plays it in his mind 1,000 times a day. So it just made sense that would be the one. And then also the other one. The other one is just the irony of it, as we've discussed before, that she has. That is all she will ever take of Homer Simpson's torso because she's about to die.
Yeah, but it's not all we'll all take though.
No, send it all to Maude.
So is that's enough, is it, to get him to realise that he needs to get into the dating game?
No, I don't think so.
Because that would be a little bit of a push, right? Like, Lonely Men Die Early. It's like, oh, well, maybe I do need to start thinking about getting my shit together.
I thought you meant the audio clip of Maude.
No. In many ways, so that the audio clip would push him the other way into, kind of turmoil.
Anytime a show has been on 19 years. Yeah, that does make sense, but I think he's still at this point is looking at it like, oh, I'm a lonely man. I don't think it's clicked that that's where he would go next, but I think he is realising that he's going to be alone, that she's not coming back.
Nettie, when you're drying your hands with our monogram towels,
did you overplay this part?
I did.
Is this more talking to him in his mind, or is she a real ghost here?
In his mind, I would say. He is replaying. It's supposed to imply that he sort of does this frequently, that he sadly walks around thinking about what could have been, or reflecting on the things that now make more sentiment for him, such as the footlong thing, etc., and the towel argument, which were menial at the time and now hold great weight.
Deep in his heart, what percentage does he blame himself? What percentage does he think was simply bad luck? And what percentage does he think was Homer J. Simpson?
I say he blames himself maybe about 2%, and the rest is Homer.
Really? He's not acting like that in the slightest.
No, he's not. But that's how I feel.
Especially not in the original episode. In yours, a little bit more.
He feels very, very little guilt because he really didn't have any. There is no guilt to have. He wanted to get away from Homer. So even the "if I went and got the hot dogs" thing doesn't fly because he would have been doing her a disservice by doing that because she wanted to leave the area.
I think you're underestimating his guilt. I think even though he knows all of those logics, I think he's holding himself very much accountable.
He is also quite a guilty character, actually. Yeah, he probably is. I'll give you that.
That's just my opinion. I just saw the groggly bit about gaslighting. That was funny. But of course, that was purely intentional, just for jollies.
Exactly. Now it's back in again.
But you're doing it to me now.
Yes, sure I am. Wink, wink.
Oh, Croggly, leave me alone. I'm just trying to say my opinion here. The world's not fair anymore since it all got woke.
Exactly, because of woke.
Hiya, Marge. Rod and Todd and the Land and Odd.
So he comes back home after a short walk, and he's eyeing up Marge.
We had a lot of fun. They're terrific kids.
Hey, you're welcome to see the dynamic duo anytime.
Well, then maybe I will come by more often.
So this, like, so we've introduced this idea that because that Marge is now kind of stepped into after R&T, which is not in the original show, but is a nice idea. Where's that come from?
Yeah, it comes from this Rod episode. I thought it made sense here that it would just give Neddy a break to walk around and think about sadness, which is what he wants to do. He's not yet ready to be like the single parent unit, and Marge can sense that, so she stepped in. So there was quite a good amount of Marge looking after Rod and Todd in that episode. She is also, but that's where the conflict arises because she is not Maude, and Neddy is playing it super safe now. So is Marge pushing it too far? No, but in Ned's eyes, yes.
Marge simply looking after 5 children.
Indeed. Well, the other 3 are off doing whatever they do, being America's biggest underachiever.
Even the baby.
Especially the baby. Especially Bart, but especially Lisa.
So now we get to see like just what a hyper safe R&T playground looks like. And the first thing we see is a seesaw, which has kind of things underneath, supports underneath to stop it from actually moving up and down as a seesaw should.
Indeed, the only thing we see in the play area.
With our eyes, but in my mind, if you don't very much disagree, then I'm seeing many more things.
Yes, I can see a slide that's got like guardrails and stuff, etc.
Etc.
What's wrong with your teeter-totter?
Daddy says up and down seesaws are dangerous.
Chocks? Why don't we try it freestyle?
And the wieners are wobbling all up and down. And what's that? A little bit of Christmas witch music. Look at Teddy's eyes. He's going wild, isn't he?
Yes, he's having a great time.
So is Rod.
I've only just noticed it, but when they get on the seesaw, it's a very, very cute Todd moment where Roddy is tall enough and his feet reach the floor, but Todd's little legs are kicking.
That's very good. The sound effect of the whistle, was that you as well?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
That's very good.
I think it's just part of the Befana soundtrack, which again is just a Maude element that I wanted to add because I just wanted the original music is like classical music, and it would have been fun, but I thought this was better.
I think it fit well, and I think the whistles came as it zoomed in on Maud's face. Ka-ching. Maud's face.
The main thing that points out is that Ron and Todd have also sort of adopted this fear of heights, or this fear of, are we going to go through? Is this what Mommy went through when she fell from a height? But it's so like at this point, they've already got to the point where, that applies to like seesaws and stuff. But you can see that this is them learning already that life's not going to be this way.
Life ain't going to be that way, but the fear, and Marge is going to help them to overcome it. But I do like the subplot that you've added that never existed before.
I also like it.
Do you know anyone else that might like it?
I think at least 2 of them.
But they like it too. So we go to the mall. We see the Leftorium, and Nedworth is in there working.
But by golly, first thing tomorrow, we're going to open up the Leftorium, and before you know it, we'll be back on our feet.
Once again, being tormented by the voice of his dead wife. But in this case, at least it's a positive torment.
Yes, I just wanted to add things that were, if there was anything relevant, it felt like it was worth adding. For example, like he's at the Leftorium, so he would obviously be replaying moments in which him and Maude discussed the Leftorium, and there was at least one that I could soundbite here.
Perfect.
Form of business, sole proprietorship, owner's marital status, happily married to a dead woman.
Well, look at my dull-eyed angels. It's the ripcord from a Band-Aid wrapper. Call me Ned Zeppelin, but is one of my boys abrased and contused?
I'll give it to him. It's a good Led Zeppelin reference, but why would you call him Ned Zeppelin? Couldn't they make some kind of detective or doctor pun? But sure, great.
I like it because it's weirdly out of character for him to know those songs. But yeah, I know what you mean. It could have been like Sherlock Diddley or something.
Exactly.
The Leftorian bit I just left in there again to show that he's really sad. He's still really sad. And it's
Really
not,
sad.
4 minutes ago his wife died and now he's on a date with Lindsay Naegle.
Exactly. In this, he's really sad because his wife died, right?
That is correct. His wife, there was actually an issue with the voice actor anytime
Really?
you've been on it 19 years.
Etc. So he storms in and he has a go at Marge. He doesn't like the fact that she's been taking wild risks with his children.
I cut myself on the knife playing Christian Clue. The secular humanist did it in the schoolhouse with misinformation.
Very funny. So great joke, and Ned's not very happy about the fact that his kid's got a cut on his finger, and of course it is wild Todd. It would be wild Todd. There's no way Rod's getting his fingers cut on a plastic knife from a game of Cluedo.
No, Rod is still at this point the safer of the two children. They are both still. Todd is still godless at this point as well.
Yeah.
It's less implied because of the scenes aren't from that episode. But within our story, Todd at this point is still supposed to be without faith.
Which again makes sense that he would then be hurt by a Christian board game.
Yes, and that he's sort of throwing more caution to the wind with his life and being reckless, like his eyes bulging with joy at a teeter-totter, if you will.
I very much will. And so how's Ned going to respond is the question.
I think it's about time you boys get to bed.
Yes, Daddy.
And so we don't have another disaster, you crawl up those steps.
But I know you.
That's surely even at that point Ned realizes that that's a bit mean.
I think he's at that point now where he is sort of lost.
He's a too far gone Ned.
He is. He's lost the sort of rationale he needs just from being alone and sad and just going over things over and over again. He's given the time now to think about all the ways he could lose Rod and Todd to the point where, even the stirs present a problem to him.
Serious mental health issue that Ned's going through.
He's really going, and that does sort of happen. Rod and Todd get significantly weirder following the death of Maude as you see them continue on. And maybe it is just Nettie's no frills, no fun parenting style.
I like to worry, but these boys are never going to get self-confidence unless you let them try things for themselves.
I just can't. They're all I've got since Maude found eternal happiness.
I thought they might enjoy it if I took them here. Everything.
So she's pitching. So he's burying his heart on his sleeve. They're all he's got. He's very, very worried about the boys, overly so. And rather than suggesting some kind of help, some kind of counselling, saying and recognizing his feelings, she simply says, "I would like to take them to this incredibly dangerous looking ninja fun zone."
Yeah, she basically says, "Well, you should get over that. I should take them here."
In a way, isn't she doing, in her own way, isn't she doing exactly what Homer did?
What, killing his family?
No, Homer insisted that Ned went out and started dating immediately, and isn't Marge also saying, yes, your feelings and your time to mourn is irrelevant. I need to start putting you through the ringer.
Yeah, but this feels more apt considering he just made them crawl up the stairs. It does feel like a little bit of outside intervention might be good. Even the earlier the better. Whereas getting him back in the saddle doesn't really matter as much.
I agree with that.
The mental development of his two children.
I absolutely agree.
I am glad. I cut out a line there as well. He says the original thing is since that day that Maude found happiness, and I now in hindsight don't know why I cut it out. I think maybe I had this earlier, so it hadn't been that long since she died. So it seemed out of place. But then it is still supposed to be 6 months later or something in our version, so I cannot remember why. In between him saying all I've got since, between since and Maude, he said something like that fateful day. And for some reason I thought it wasn't correct and cut it out.
That's just judicious editing, like what we're doing now with this 5.
If I took them here, everything's covered in foam, and it's owned by a corporation, so you know it's safe.
Yeah, their mascot.
Satire.
That is a knee pad wearing a helmet. Why not?
I do like that idea of that mascot.
A knee pad wearing a helmet is a great idea for a mascot. It's a bit flippant of Ned to now just be like, why not? But there's only so much I can do with the clips provided.
There is. You'd have to put a whole other deliberation of Maude speaking to him like in Star Wars or something and saying, "Oh, Neddy," there's got to be some quote somewhere that suggests that she's got slightly more prepared to let the boys do what they need to do.
Exactly. We have to drink toilet water.
Exactly.
But he doubles down. It's not like he just says, fair enough, get on with it. He does double down on it, on being weird. So,
And I do like the idea that a ball pit is dredged with the homeless daily. It's somewhat harsh, isn't it?
Looking good, Rod.
There is said mascot.
oh yes, never really paid attention to that.
There he is.
Great.
But ironically, no knee pads.
No, he is a knee pad. He doesn't need to work.
But he has
doesn't
knees. He has knees.
I suppose he does, you're right.
What I didn't notice was that Ned was crawling on his hands and knees behind the mascot.
Yes, that is the focus of what's about to happen. But I do like it. He's not doing a good job. He has sort of entirely lost his mind.
But did they do, I mean, like, everything's covered in foam and I'm going to let them climb? He could have said, like, yeah, but no climbing walls, just stick to kind of the trampolines and stuff. But he didn't, did he? Didn't think it through?
No, I think the second he said yes, he knew he was going to do this.
It's deranged.
It might even be more of not a flippant, yeah, go on then, a trial run for Marge of, can I let this woman carry on looking after my children? Let's find out.
Yeah. And imagine if he'd had some kind of tracking device on the children and maybe like an extra rope.
Yeah.
Ned, are you checking up on me?
I'm not Ned. I'm a friendly dog. No, I'm not a good...
Very poor. But that's the point, I guess.
Yeah, I do like that. I like that he instantly gives up on it as well.
His voice sounds so familiar. Was he in Spinal Tap?
Yeah, he's the Indian guy from Spinal Tap.
Liar. I did come here to check on the... Where's Rod?
He's up there, Daddy. Daddy, look how high.
That surely should have been accompanied by a sting.
Yeah, I think there is already one in it, and then I added a second one, so I clearly thought so.
What are you doing? You're gonna get hurt!
Oh, that's good. That's a great choice there. He has an immediate flashback to his wife dying.
Yes, great choice for
earlier this episode, and that's a great shot of a too far gone Rod, if such a thing can exist.
Exactly. Who would have ever thought? This is where it becomes fun for Rod, and Rod only really gets this. He's sort of shafted in show and in this version. Rod seems to be have a fear of heights that he has to get over than anything. His faith in God remains unshaken, but he does sort of this onwards now. Well, the seesaw and now this, and then something later.
I think it's good. It's a good choice. It's good to have a plot.
And it also does work based on the falling from a height mother thing. It's not just an irrational or like a random fear. It ties to Maude.
The fact that there wasn't a readily available backstory for Todd suggests that at no point have they ever really considered his thoughts in any depth whatsoever.
No, they did this one Rod episode, it came like 12 years before the Todd episode, even though Todd is the more focusable one.
But his mother fell to her death from a stadium, and they did a show about climbing and fear of heights, and at no point did anyone say, hey, we might want to mention in passing that this might have a connection to that.
No, that's where they give the audience so much credit that they knew they would work it out themselves.
VP.
No, that's gaslighting.
Well, here's this as well, where Roddy Kaching was absolutely fine until Neddy told him he was afraid of heights.
Indeed, yes, that also would play into it, that Ned's fear is the driving factor for the two boys, and he has to sort himself out, or he's also going to ruin their life.
He chipped a tooth! How will he bite wheat thins? How?
I'm sorry, Ned. I never thought this would happen.
Flipped irony there as well, because it was Homer who caused Maude's death by his kind of actions, and in this case, it was Ned who caused Rod to chip his tooth, but he switched the blame over to Marge.
Yeah, he's probably still just angry at the family in general. Like, he was giving Marge a chance because she was being super helpful, but he knows who she's married to, and so his defenses were probably already up. Because the bit I don't buy in this is Marge going like, "Come on, Ned, he's fine." And she probably is thinking more, let's give Marge the benefit of the doubt that she remembered how Maude died. So she's probably thinking, oh, maybe that was quite a bad idea, actually. Oops. I don't think she really... Like, it's a fixable tooth chip. And there was no actual damage. Yeah. Rod suffered no damages. But Marge is apologising like he has just fallen to his death as well.
Gotta say, though, if you took your friend's child to the climbing thing and they smacked their face against the wall and their tooth fell out, you'd probably at least say sorry.
I disagree. No, yeah. I think you would.
And here, what about this for a precursor to a faceless Maude? Now, that's called foreshadowing.
Oh, yeah, and the kid as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Repping a Maude Todd thing. Yes, I like that. In our version, that's already happened. So maybe that's what Todd's seeing and he's remembering the dream.
Here's the candy all flowing down behind them.
Yes.
It's all very Jodorowsky.
I don't want you watching my boys ever again.
That's a great line. I don't want you watching my boys ever again. Everyone sees it and hears it.
I don't think we've ever heard Neddy be that mad with Marge, ever, or Home.
He almost got southern. That's how angry he was.
He did scream, breathe through your damn mouth, that Homer actually in church that time. But aside from that, this is the biggest conflict, the biggest and most accurate conflict to have with the next door neighbours.
Fantastic. And we progressed almost a minute in the show.
3.
3 minutes, you're right. It's the second ad break, because as we said, this would be in a twofer, probably.
Due to the limitations of the laptop Azaz, it will indeed be a twofer. See you in pod gradually. I mean Poncho too.